Well, a very good morning to you right now. It is 5:36 a.m. and you are watching the Weather Network. We've got a big system over top of Ontario today. It actually started yesterday across the northwest, shut down the Trans-Canada connecting northwestern Ontario and into southern Manitoba. Now we see it here for us. And across the south, we are getting rain with this system. We are in the warm sector. The mild air is the story for us, and that's why we are seeing precipitation falling as a liquid here. Not snow for us across southern Ontario. So we still have about 5 more millimeters of rain to go in our forecast before we cool down into tomorrow. And tomorrow, well, the air will be below seasonal and we will be talking snow. And we're going to get into that forecast in a second. But as you look at a day like today, there's not going to be a lot of sunshine out there. Not a good opportunity to get your vitamin D. Now, Deb Matiechka has this story. Tanning beds, could they help combat low vitamin D levels in us Canadians? Have a look at this story. All right, something to think about. Or, of course, you can go on vacation, and that will help get your vitamin D levels up as well. Now, I want you to brace for this. What's coming for us? The cold air that's moving in across the east and in through southern Ontario. We are really going to see the temperatures fall as we go throughout the day today. Warmest part of the day is happening right now. We see dropping temperatures as we go into the afternoon. And then as we get throughout this week, as the cold air is in place, it really is the perfect setup for lake effect snow. It's more of a westerly flow here. So places that are likely to get into some of that lake effect snow, east side of Georgian Bay into the Muskoka region, also down towards Buffalo. If the winds shift even just a little bit, that could put up to 10-15 centimeters of snow into Niagara Falls and Niagara-on-the-Lake. So we're going to be watching this area as we go throughout this week. The westerly flow, Kingston, Prince Edward County as well. Lake effect is setting up. We'll be taking a look at force of nature when we come back. It's 5:46 a.m. and you are watching the Weather Network. It's great to have you along with us. A rainy start to the day today. Very windy conditions as well. And the mild conditions we feel right now, well, enjoy it while it's here because temperatures will be falling as we go throughout the day. We are 9 degrees right now in Toronto, and that is a dropping temperature as we go into the afternoon. And I'll tell you, as I was driving into the studio this morning, that rain is powerful out there this morning. Very gusty conditions, and we can see it live on the radar here as it continues to track across southern Ontario. We'll tell you when you'll be out of the rain, but first let's take a look at some of our top trending videos this morning. Hey, Kelly, thanks for that. Some of our top stories on theweathernetwork.com today. Now let's get back into this rain and when this rain will be pushing out of here. You can see as we go throughout the morning, it is wet for many of us. But note London, Ontario here. The sunshine starts to peek through at about 9 and 11 a.m. And that, of course, London being a little bit to the west of us, showing that clearing. So places like London clearing out, then Kitchener and Guelph, eventually Mississauga and Toronto. So we will be seeing that rain depart, and we do have the potential to see a few peaks of sunshine as we go into the afternoon. This evening for us, we are down to 3 degrees. Feels more, though, like -3. And I know the winds here are coming out of the southwest, but that does not mean it's warm. It is a colder air mass that is coming into play. So even though we have that southwesterly strong wind, we are not warming up. The opposite is happening. We are cooling down. That freezing line just continues to push further south past Toronto, and we are looking at cold air really right down into the deep south of the U.S. This is going to be a chill for many people across North America. Modified, of course, when you talk about the deep south in the U.S. We look at the westerly winds. That's going to kick up the potential for lake effect snow, especially into Thursday. Thursday up through Muskoka, also the Niagara region. If this band shifts just a little bit here, Niagara Falls, Buffalo, Niagara-on-the-Lake, we could be looking at about 10 centimeters of snow. And it does look like Thursday into the evening hours, we will see some of that snow head into the GTA as well. So we're watching this system in through Friday as well. The westerly winds really kicking up some of that snow. Now I want to show you this very cool video taken by a videographer in Australia. It shows the ISS passing in front of the supermoon. We all are a part of this same system. It's just when it will be affecting each of us, of course. So it's time now to start some of our active weather coverage and focus in on this big area of low pressure that is moving in across southern Ontario. This morning, windy and wet. That's what you need to remember. We are really seeing a rough go in terms of the rush hour drive with these conditions, but clearing out as we go into the afternoon. 5 millimeters of rain. That's what we're seeing throughout the morning, and then we are done with this system. But it's the cold air that will be moving in. That freezing line, it is dropping, sinking south, way past Toronto here. So the warmest part of the day, that's actually happening right now. Then conditions will continue to cool throughout the afternoon, and then we are into winter as we go Wednesday and beyond. Tomorrow, 2. That's the daytime high. Lake effect snow is also setting up, so Emily, you take the story from here. Hey, Kelly, thanks for that. That is an interesting article, actually, about the ethanol. I was just reading it this morning, and it looks like if this does get approved, could be approved in 2020, so it would double. We have 5% ethanol now, it would go up to 10%. And if this happens, it essentially will combat the greenhouse gases, and it could be equivalent to taking 130,000 vehicles off the road each year. So make sure you read that one on your coffee break this morning. As we take you and show you the radar here, look at this, all the rain tracking across southern Ontario. We're actually almost out of the heaviest rain. We were actually seeing that around 3 o'clock this morning as I was driving into the studio. It was really nasty out there. Those winds are just whipping this morning. 11 into the afternoon. Like I said, the warmest part of the day really happening right now. Could be a bit of a struggle to get up to 11. We will see the sunshine, few peaks of it into the afternoon, so that will help. And then temperatures really falling, especially as we go later on into the day, through the overnight, in through tomorrow. That freezing line, it just continues to fall way past us, and we are stuck with the cool, below seasonal air. Look at us tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, -2 in Toronto, -3 in Barrie. Looks like we could see a couple flurries, yes, with the lake effect snow. Wednesday afternoon, 2 is the daytime high. And as we take you into Thursday, lake effect snow really setting up here. We are likely to see some bands off of Ontario, Lake Erie as well. And then off Georgian Bay, -1 in Barrie. It's going to be a cold Thursday with a snowy atmosphere for you. And speaking of a snowy atmosphere, I want to show you what Schumacher, Ontario was looking like. This is just outside of Timmins. Look at that perfect big snowflakes. It's Tuesday, December the 5th, and it's great to have you along with us this morning. I'm Rachel Schoutsen. You're watching the Weather Network. This here is your Weather Wake Up, and we do have this big system over Ontario, and it's an interesting one. The snow has actually been so bad across the northwest of Ontario that the Trans-Canada Highway has been shut down in between Manitoba and the northwest of our province. Now, for us, we're in the warm sector, so it's all about the rain for us today. It's a mild start to your Tuesday morning. Very windy out there as well. But today is the type of day, especially this morning, where you're not going to get a lot of sunshine. No natural vitamin D. Our reporter in Calgary, Deb Matiechka, she's looking into this story, vitamin D, and how we can get more. In this scenario, are tanning beds making a comeback? Have a look at this story. But you could go and wear that bathing suit on vacation, head down to Florida, head to Mexico, somewhere where you can find the heat all year long. And that's a good way to bring up the vitamin D levels as well. All right, let's talk about the cold, because nobody is going on a vacation here in southern Ontario. When we talk about this cold coming in, we have seen quite a mild start to December. Winter was on a bit of a vacation, but hey, it's coming back for us. We see this system this morning. This system brings us rain. We clear throughout the afternoon. The cold air moves in overnight, and then we end off the week with snow squalls. And we are likely to see squalls develop down and towards the Niagara region. At this point, the worst of it is pointed down towards Buffalo. All we need is a tiny switch in the wind direction, and that could move 10-15 centimeters of snow into Niagara Falls. Also, across the Bruce Peninsula, through the Muskokas as well, these are key areas where we will be picking up big amounts of lake effect snow this week, over 10 centimeters. We'll take a look at Force of Nature next. Well, it's great to have you along with us this morning. Rachel Schoutsen and Kelly Sonnenberg here with you. A big system across the east, and we're breaking down all those details, plus the lake effect snow that is setting up.
Yeah, but first, let's send things over to Emily Vukovic right now and find out what's trending online at theweathernetwork.com.
And you know, Kelly, I was reading that story online about the ethanol, and if we do get this approved and we double from 5% to 10%, that could be equivalent to taking 130,000 vehicles off the road each year.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. I did see that we would have to maybe hit the pumps a couple more times in a year, but to be able to do that and help our atmosphere, our environment, climate change, slow it down, that's fantastic.
It's all good news.
Okay, let's talk about the active weather that's happening across Ontario, because we don't only have blowing snow, we have winter storm warnings, blizzard warnings. Those were upgraded yesterday evening, and snow squalls as well.
It's not too often we get the blizzard warnings, but way up into the north of Ontario and Manitoba, we're looking at you. Now, when we look at this snow here, this is big amounts of snow across the northwest. Trans-Canada Highway has been shut down in between Manitoba and northwestern Ontario. We are looking at additional 30 centimeters of snow possibly across the north. So this system's certainly packing a punch, but then to compare it in the south, we're just too warm for snow.
And you know what? Those mild temperatures that you're feeling when you step out the door this morning, say goodbye to them, because I don't know when we're going to be feeling temperatures like that again. Winter weather is arriving. And Rachel, our question yesterday on Twitter was, what part of this week would you rather do without? So we asked you guys, snow squalls, the below freezing temperatures, and it looks like most people are saying, oh, you know what? It's pretty close.
It is
50-50
really,
almost.
really close. Do you want the snow? Do you want the cold? You know, for me, when snow squalls set up, it really starts off the season thinking, okay, the cold air is coming in, but it can be tough to deal with, especially if you live in the snow belts. You being from Port Elgin. That's
yeah, driving along Highway 21 along Huron, Lake Huron, got shut down quite frequently in the wintertime. A lot of people saying yo-yo temperatures, just pick one temperature and stick with it. Other people are also saying, you know what, I don't like driving through those snow squalls.
They can be tough to deal with. So.
Hi there, thanks so much for joining us here on the Weather Network. Emily Vukovic and Rachel Schoutsen with you. Lots going on to talk about. Of course, we've got the wind, we've got the rain, we've got colder air bringing in some squalls throughout the week this week. And Rachel, hashtag winterize a celebrity. What's up with that? I have no idea what that is. What is that?
Okay, so this was trending on the Weather Network's Twitter account yesterday, and Emily, honestly, I went to bed late last night because I was stuck reading all of these. They are so funny. So an example of winterizing a celebrity is Mark Wahlberg.
Okay, all right, I get it now. All
and you know
right,
what? I found so many of these great tweets online last night. How about Snowbama?
Snowbama, that's amazing.
And then what about this one?
Enormous heating Bill Clinton.
Enormous heating Bill Clinton. Honestly, all of our viewers, everybody on Twitter was so creative with these. I love them.
Oh, this is my favorite, Olivia Newton-Long-Johns. That's my favorite, hands down.
And Kate Bundled Upton. These are really good. You guys put in some good thought into these. And then this one. What about this one? This is our last one.
Oh,
just Flake. That's it. If you
Flake.
want to winterize a celebrity, all you have to do is connect with us. Use that hashtag, and there I am, Emily, as well. Isn't that good?
Amazing.
You know what? It makes me like winter a little bit more.
It makes it a little bit more enjoyable, right? When you can laugh about some things like that. But we do have to talk about what is actually happening. We're winterizing ourselves here throughout southern Ontario. Huge dip in the jet stream. Look at this area of low pressure. These lines, they're called isobars. The closer they are together, the windier our conditions are. And we are feeling those gusts this morning, Rachel.
Yeah, fighting the wind behind the wheel a little bit. Be cautious on the Burlington Skyway this morning. The rain is coming down, the wind paired with it. We have about 5 millimeters left to go. And then it's the colder air that will be moving in. The Arctic influence. And this is going to set us up for some snow.
Absolutely. We've got lake effect. The winds, they're shifting to more of a west-southwesterly flow. So coming off of Huron, Georgian Bay, temperatures dropping significantly. Of course, today we're going to be flirting with double digits. By tomorrow, we're looking at low single, even into the minus single digits.
And we start off tomorrow morning at -2 in Toronto. So that is going to be a big change for us. And when we look at this snow here, this is courtesy of lake effect. So it's interesting because we are having more of that westerly flow, essentially that colder air over Lake Ontario. This could be a key zone for even up to 10 centimeters.
Well, we do have some squall warnings in place for the Niagara region. So up to 15 centimeters, certainly going to be a potential. So I'm just going to cover that up for now. 5 to 15 centimeters, quite likely in between kind of Barrie and Perry Sound. That's an area that could certainly see more in terms of the winds.
And I want to show you too, as we go into the weekend, the cold air still staying with us. 0 the daytime high for Toronto on Saturday, and then Sunday -1, -3 in Newmarket. So we've got some snow and some cold in our backyard.
It's about to put on my snow tires then.
It is time.
All right.
Do it, Emily. Do it. We'll take a look at Force of Nature when we come back. That's coming up just after your local forecast. Good morning. It is 6:46 a.m. and you're watching the Weather Network. We have a lot to talk about when it comes to the system today. It's the game-changing system across southern Ontario, bringing a wild mix of active weather here. 8 degrees with rain in Toronto. When will this clear out of the way? We're going to get to that. But first, here is what's trending online with Kelly Sonnenberg. Emily, thanks for that. And you know, another thing that's been trending online, of course, was the supermoon. Have a look at this image of the supermoon. What you're looking at here, of course, is the moon bigger and brighter than usual. But see this little black dot passing in front of it? Well, that is the ISS. And you know, it's not too often that we're taking pictures of the ISS. Usually it's taking some amazing pictures of us here down on Earth, right? I want to take you to the radar now and show you what we're picking up. Lots of rain across southern Ontario. The Golden Horseshoe socked in cloud cover right now. Windy to start off the day too. So if you're driving on the Burlington Skyway this morning, do keep that in mind. Look at us hour by hour as we go throughout the day. Toronto by about lunchtime, Hamilton as well. We will be into some sunshine. So this front just continues to clear, moves off towards Ottawa. Ottawa stays in the rain as we go into the afternoon, and we will be clearing out. But cooling down as we go throughout the day today. 3 into this evening, feels more though like -3. It's going to feel cold, and that freezing line, it just continues to fall. It continues to drop right across Ontario, and we are getting into a below seasonal week. We're not going to be absolutely frigid. It's -12 in Winnipeg today. We're not going to be that cold, but this is a blast of winter for us, and it's an extended period of winter. This pattern will hold as we go through the holidays, perhaps even into the new year. As we look at this band, lake effect snow off of Erie moving into the Niagara region. Also Huron Shores, Highway 21, likely to be a nightmare to travel on, and then also east of Georgian Bay, pushing up into the Muskokas as well. More of a westerly flow. So we're not seeing places like Barrie hit as hard with this. Barrie, you need more of that strong northwesterly wind to really be the target when it comes to lake effect snow. All right, I want to show you the roads this morning because we still have this problem here. All a part of the same system, and this is the system that is bringing us a powerful start to Tuesday in terms of the wind and the rain. It is pretty nasty out there this morning, but this system is clearing out as we go throughout the morning. Temperatures dropping as we go into the afternoon. That freezing line, it is falling way to the south of us this week. I'll show you that in a second. I want you to know about 5 millimeters of rain left to go. We've seen that already, really, once this rain started last night into about midnight. 5 millimeters throughout this morning. I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but those winds will be blustery. We will dry out as we go into the afternoon, maybe even a couple peaks of sunshine, and then that freezing line, well, it continues to fall as the colder air moves in. By tomorrow, the daytime high, only 2 degrees. 1 in Markham, 0 in Newmarket, and lake effect snow is setting up. So Emily, you take the story from here. Your Long Ranger starts now. Hey, it's great to have you along with us this morning. Right now, 7:06 a.m. Rachel Schoutsen, Emily Vukovic with you. Grab an extra cup of McCafe today because you are dealing with rain and windy conditions out there.
Not sure what happened to us there, but here we are.
It just flew away. It's windy. That was the wind.
We got a new set. Do you like it? All right, let's take a look now at what's trending online.
Kelly, thanks for that. And let's get into our weather story right now. 8 degrees in Toronto.
All right,
Not
it's already
bad.
dropped. It was 9 when we first got here, so temperatures continuing to drop throughout the day today.
And it's all because of this. This system is coming in, brought in the mild conditions yesterday, the windy conditions through the overnight, the rain, and now the cool air is moving in. So, Emily, by the time we look at about lunchtime, this rain actually should be out of here.
Yeah, and then temperatures are going to be plummeting. So this...
I know. I
No,
don't like that
click past
11.
this.
I know.
Click
I don't
past
like that
this.
11 on there either.
Because it was 11, I mean, it was 9 degrees last night at about midnight, and then temperatures stayed mild through the overnight, but then this is what's going to be happening. So we're going to be dropping significantly, all because of our wind shift and that Arctic air literally filtering right in from the Arctic.
The Arctic, modified Arctic air. You know, we're not getting it as bad as a place like Winnipeg,
No.
-12 the daytime high today, but the cold air is coming in, and we will be looking at a little bit of this. Have a look at some of the snow that we have been seeing across our province. Julie sent in this one. This is Schumacher, Ontario, just outside of Timmins. It looks pretty, doesn't it?
It sure does. There's something always very like romantic and
Yeah.
lovely about the first snowfall when it's those big white flakes. And you're sitting inside and the fire's raging and you're in a movie.
I know.
And it's awesome.
And then you go to reality, and you
You
have to get the
shovel it.
kids ready for school, and you have to put on your boots. You know what I hate so much about winter?
What?
Is the boots with the insoles, and you take off the boot, but the insole stays on your
Ah.
foot, and then you have to jam it all back in there. I hate that, and I think about doing that this week, and I'm like, winter.
Wait till you have some kids, Rachel.
Yeah,
Snowsuits
seriously.
will have a whole new meaning for you.
-2 as we start off Wednesday morning. As we go into the afternoon, it is going to be a cold day. Cold on Wednesday, cold throughout the week.
All right, a couple of traffic shots, Rachel. I know we're seeing some holdups, those good old morning delays.
Yeah, this here is the guard. Well, it's Tuesday morning, and depending on where you are across the east, well, we're dealing with some sort of precipitation, whether it's snow or rain. There's been a bit of mixing as well, and we're breaking that down for you this morning here on the Weather Network. Rachel Schoutsen and Kelly Sonnenberg joining you this morning.
Yeah, we certainly do have some milder temperatures that are building in across British Columbia and Alberta, but first, let's find out what's trending online. Alrighty, so Rachel, we've got a pretty interesting pattern across eastern Canada. We talked about British Columbia and Alberta, where temperatures are going to be getting warmer because of a ridge, but a trough that's building in across eastern Canada. A big area of low pressure. This is bringing in lots of active weather. Yesterday, today, it's going to continue into tomorrow.
It is, and lake effect snow is going to be setting up with this as well. Usually we want to show you the maps, we want to show you the lake effect snow. Clearly we're having a technical difficulty here this morning. So Kelly, let's just talk about it, because lake effect snow, it really is such an interesting setup. It is common across the lower Great Lakes, and if you live in an area that you know, hey, I'm in a snow belt, I'm prone to this lake effect snow, it is likely this week you're going to get back into that action.
That's exactly right. Temperatures this morning when you're waking up, Sarnia 12 degrees, Windsor 11 degrees, colder air is moving in. I don't know the next time that we're actually going to be feeling temperatures this mild. The snow squalls will be developing. We've already seen squalls develop along the Huron shores. Colder air is going to be moving in as well. This is going to be our story, I think, talking with Dr. Doug as we head through the holiday season, maybe even beyond.
And snow, of course, brings in such a good economic value to the ski hills and the resorts within Northern Ontario. We want snow for Christmas, and this really is coming at a pretty good time.
Yeah, you know what? I think we're going to see a good amount of snow. Talking with Dr. Doug, here we go. We've got some snowfall to show you. We may actually have a better chance of seeing a white Christmas. We can't guarantee it just yet, but the way the parameters and the pattern is starting to set up, we could be in for maybe some white stuff for Christmas Day.
And of course, that would make everybody happy, right? Whether you have to drive in the snow squalls or not. So do keep that in mind. Rain will be moving into Atlantic Canada as we look ahead at Wednesday, and those gusty conditions as well, they will be your story. Your local forecast starts right here. This is your Weather Wake Up on the Weather Network, brought to you by McCafe. It is great to have you along with us this morning. This is what the rush hour drive was looking like today. A wet, a rainy, a windy start to the day today. Yeah. Not the greatest start for December, right? But it could be a lot worse. Could be driving in the snow. And we are going to flip that pattern around. We are getting into a much cooler below seasonal one, and we're going to talk about that when we return. But right now, speaking of great video, have a look at what's trending online. Emily, thanks for that. I want to take you out now onto our radar and show you what we're looking at when we focus in on the rainfall that's moving across southern Ontario. As we look where we live, right here in the Golden Horseshoe, the bulk of that rain really has now passed us. So look at this. Over the next 6 hours or so, we actually have the potential to break out into a little bit of sunshine. A little bit of sunshine around lunchtime. That is possible today. Around 1 p.m., look at Toronto, 10 degrees, mixed sun and cloud. We're not going to see a gorgeous sunny day today, but a few peaks here and there, and then those falling temperatures. It's a little strange when we talk about the daytime high today, because essentially that's happening right now, and then we are cooling as that colder air moves in. This evening, 3 feels like -3. Look at the wind here. Southwesterly wind. Usually when we say southwesterly wind, that's a warm wind. But the air mass that's moving in and behind the system, it is cold. So even though we have a southwesterly wind, we have westerly flow throughout this week, that freezing line is still falling across Ontario. We are cooling down, and we are losing this above seasonal stretch that we've seen to start December. No longer the case for us. As the cooler air moves in, that also kicks up the lake effect snow. That engine is being turned on. We're going to get a band off of Erie here, bands off Georgian Bay and Huron set to affect the Muskokas, the Niagara region, also Kingston over to Prince Edward County, a few key areas where we will watch the development of lake effect snow as we go throughout this week. Now into the weekend, temperatures are still staying cold, and we are going to talk about that coming up in our next segment. The Long Ranger, Emily Vukovic, is going to join us. This is the general picture of how much snow we're talking in terms of lake effect, but remember, if those bands lock in place for a couple hours, some regions could be seeing up to 15 centimeters of snow. Just want to show you this amazing video here of the moon.
Well, a very good morning to you. This is your Weather Wake Up here on the Weather Network. Rachel Schoutsen, Kelly Sonnenberg. And boy, Rachel, temperatures are quite mild across southern Ontario and Quebec this morning, but colder air, it's going to be moving in.
Yeah, and you know, these mild conditions, you can't even really get out there and enjoy them because it's so windy and it's so wet out there. But the double digits, this is likely the last time we'll see them this year.
Yeah, I think
very
at least,
final.
Yeah,
right?
very final. I was saying to Chris, though, unless we have a minus in front of it, then that means it's minus 10, minus 11. It could be feeling like that.
Good, Kelly. You're good. All right, I want to show you what's happening on radar here, because this is the system that's moving in across the east, bringing in a very wet, soggy start to the day. Ottawa, you're going to be stuck in this rain all day long today, and to the north of us, well, we've got snow.
Yeah, at least 10 centimeters has already fallen this morning in Thunder Bay. An additional 10 could be falling through the afternoon. The snow is going to continue. The winds are going to continue, and that's why we've got blizzard warnings to far northern Manitoba, northern Ontario, and winter storm warnings.
And you know, when these oranges and these pinks start to pop up with the winter storms, you know that these are getting serious. For example, the Trans-Canada has shut down connecting Ontario and Manitoba, and you can see all the snow that's coming into the picture. Kelly, you said there was over 10 already in Thunder Bay this morning?
Already 10, and we could be seeing an additional 10. And now the snow that you can see in southern Ontario, of course, when you're waking up and heading outdoors for work or school this morning, it's not snow. It's coming down as rain. This rain's tapering off. That snow, the snow squalls are going to be arriving mid to late week.
All right, want to turn things over to Emily Vukovic right now, the poll question, and then we'll talk about this rain in Atlantic Canada.
Now that rain that's in southern Ontario and Quebec, it will be making its way into the Maritimes overnight tonight into tomorrow, 10 to 25 millimeters.
And windy conditions as well. And speaking of those winds, well, across Ontario, they will be kicking up lake effect snow, and snow squall watches are already in place. This is really the next story that will unfold here across the Golden Horseshoe. So keep connected here with us at the Weather Network as winter finally arrives. Kelly, thanks for that. We want to talk about the cold that's moving in, and what you're looking at here, this pink line that's waving across the screen, that's the freezing line, and it is going down.
That's the beginning of the end, really.
It is.
It is going to get much cooler this week. We're going to be seeing our warmest temperature of the week. We actually already have seen it. Our temperatures have started to drop throughout the day today. So we're looking at temperatures hovering around -2 for tomorrow morning behind that cold front for the city of Toronto. Barrie -3. We've got snow squalls to contend with. Winter, ta-da, has arrived.
It has arrived. And, you know, the system that we're dealing with today, it's really the system that's changing everything. Brings us rain through the morning, clearing through the afternoon, those temperatures down, and then winter behind it. So 2 in Toronto. That's a daytime high tomorrow. 0 in Newmarket. So the type of day that really makes you think, okay, maybe I will put on that big parka.
Yeah, it's time to transition your fall jacket to your winter jacket in your closet. Some areas throughout the province have already been dealing with snow, and it almost looks a little bit more winter wonderland-like through parts of northern Ontario. With the snow coming down, you know, Rachel, I think there's something really romantic about just those big white fluffy snowflakes.
Yeah, let's take a look at those big white fluffy snowflakes. This is just outside of Timmins here. You can see Julie sent this one into the Weather Network, and you know, when we start to see snow this week with the lake effect snow that will be moving in, we would love if you could connect with us as well and send us some of your snowy videos, whether you love it or not. We still want to see it, okay?
Yeah.
Now let's talk about that lake
fun.
effect snow.
All right, we've got these bands that are going to be coming off of Huron and Georgian Bay. This band coming off of Erie. This one's actually prompted a snow squall warning for parts of the Niagara region. Up to 15 centimeters is certainly going to be possible. We are going to be seeing that heavier snow cause blowing snow, drifting snow, poor visibility on the roadways. So this is going to be a multi-day event for Wednesday, Thursday, even into Friday.
And I think the key here is a lot of the time when we say southwesterly winds, people think, oh good, that's a warm-up. Not in this case. The air mass that is with us is cold. So even with a southwesterly wind, we still remain cold. It's the squalls now that are going to be targeting different regions.
Yeah. All right. Coming up, we've got lots to talk about. Check this out.
It's Tuesday morning, December the 5th. Rachel Schoutsen, Kelly Sonnenberg here with you, and we have a wet start to the day in the south of Ontario, snowy up to the north, rain moving into Atlantic Canada, and we are about to break it all down.
And colder air is going to be arriving behind it. We'll talk about more details across eastern Canada, but first, what's trending online? All right, as we take a look at some of our weather alerts that are still in place across the north, winter storm warning still in effect. Snow continues, strong winds, gusts exceeding 70 kilometers an hour. We've got blizzard warnings as well. I also want to point out, Rachel, that special weather statement for Thunder Bay. Thunder Bay, just in the last few hours, have already picked up about 10 centimeters of snow.
Oh boy, so it's starting to look like Christmas out there. I'm sure the snowmobilers are very excited about that. This is the general picture of how much snow we're looking at across the east. Within the snowbelt regions through southern Ontario, this is a Wednesday and beyond story. as today it is mild and we are dealing with rain today through places like the Niagara region, the Huron shores, and up through cottage country.
Yeah, temperatures are about 12, 11 degrees when you're waking up this morning, but we will be saying goodbye to those mild temperatures. And our question of the day yesterday, and we got some of your responses we want to show you. What part of this week would you rather do without? The squalls, below freezing temperatures? You tell us. Rachel, it looks pretty close, but people don't like driving through those squalls.
You know, snow squalls are scary. I've been in it before. You take the trip up the 400 and things dramatically change once you're into Barrie, and then further north this week through Muskoka as well. Looks like this person, Ginger Guy on Twitter, says, yeah, the snow squalls for sure, and don't forget the winds for sure.
Oh, no, definitely. Driving along Highway 21, I grew up over towards the Huron shores. It is not a fun time, although I don't mind the snow days. That's what we got quite a few of when I was growing up.
But in this career, Kelly, you're not getting a snow day ever again.
There's no snow days here, no. But hey, you know what? There may actually be some snow days in the next coming days closer than we think, because these snow squalls have already been issued.
Yeah, so these are the watches. Once these squalls really get going, likely to be upgraded into warnings. And of course, here at the Weather Network, we'll be the first to communicate that with you.
We'll continue to track these squalls through the next couple of days and the accumulating snow. You can see more details right now in your locals.
Well, this is what the rush hour drive looked like today. Rainy, windy, wet out there, and very dark as well. Did anyone notice how dark it was through the 7 o'clock hour this morning? No sunrise for us here in southern Ontario. We'll be talking about when this rain clears out of the way and what comes next. Hint, hint, much colder. But first up, here's a look at what's trending online at theweathernetwork.com. And that story is really interesting online at theweathernetwork.com. I was actually reading it this morning just before the show. And if we do the increase, it could really help combat greenhouse gases, help combat climate change. So much so that it could be equal to taking 130,000 vehicles off the roads each year. So you got to check that one out, maybe on your coffee break today at work. Now let's get back to this weather story. Rain throughout the morning hours, but look at this. Over the next 6 hours, we are clearing out. London, Ontario, for example, starting to see a few peaks of sunshine already, and that's because they're just a little further to the west of us. So clearing out from the west across the east. By lunchtime, 11 degrees in Toronto. I think we're going to be a little bit cooler than 11 because colder air is rushing in. Temperatures are falling. 3 by the time we look at this evening. Feels more though like -3 with those winds. I know it's a southwesterly wind, but it will be gusty, and it's a colder air mass that's coming into place. I know southwest wind usually warms it up, but not when the freezing line is dipping down to the south of us. Even the deep south of the U.S. is going to be a little bit below seasonal. A little more modified. They're not going to be feeling the chill like us here in Toronto, but the cold air, it's going to be a story for many North Americans. And also the lake effect snow. Watch this. With that westerly flow, we get the lake effect snow setting up. So a few key areas, the Niagara region, the Huron shores, up through the Muskokas, and then also Kingston over towards Prince Edward County as well. This is with the westerly flow. So with that strong northwesterly flow, places like Barrie, you get hit really hard when it comes to lake effect snow. Now the bulk of it should be actually to the north of you in Barrie, so you're still going to see some, but you're not going to be getting that crippling lake effect snow with this. You can see in through Friday, better potential here across the Niagara region and then even down into the GTA as well. Now, I want to show you this cool video before we go here. A look at the supermoon. And this is the system that is bringing us a powerful start to Tuesday.